My pimpy is 34 years old and look at him, zero fat. That's rappy. Okay, how do I do this again? Hello and welcome to the rugby update. I know I have been gone for a very long time and I don't know how to do this anymore, so it's probably gonna suck. But I was on a very nice summer holiday and I hope you were as well, or winter holiday or whatever. Luckily there was no rugby for any of us to get angry about. Absolutely, definitely no rugby at all. But this weekend there certainly will be rugby to watch because the Six Nations is back. It brings with it the great rivalries, the great players, the great teams and docu-series. I was thinking why not do a little team power ranking to see where every side sits before the tournament starts, and then after every round of games I can update it. Wouldn't that be interesting? No one's ever thought about this. Also, if I do get a little mean about your team, I'm sorry. It is hot as balls here, as always. I've been listening to a lot of Sarah Landry. And also, I'm an obnoxious Safa who thinks I'm God's gift to rugby. So, I'm leaning into that stereotype. At the bottom we have Wales, who have not won a game since 7 November 2023, 1 year and 2 months ago. And that was against the Barbarians, so does it even count? No one needs reminding that the concept of rugby in Wales has been a basket case for a while now. Also on the back of all that, they have 3 away games this year, including the one against Italy, which they would need to win if they want to avoid the wooden spoon. A statement that is really painful if you're a team like Wales. Avoid the wooden spoon. Eesh. Their squad is looking a little better in the forwards at least. The locks and back rows especially contain some names we might have all heard before. Overall the team just looks a little small. Faletau is going to have to put up Rob Valetini carry numbers to get them over the gain line, because it's certainly not going to be Jack Morgan or Bevan or fucking Nick Tompkins who's there again somehow. No longer the whipping boys. Italy are second from the bottom on the power rankings. They have the above mentioned game against Wales to avoid the wooden spoon, and the way things have been going for Zebre, Simon Easterby better watch himself in Ireland in the final weekend. Yes, things are looking up in Rome if you avoid thinking about the Autumn Nations series. Just don't do that. The quality player names in their squad also jump out like never before. Ruzza, Fischetti, Vincent, Lomaro, Galbisi squared, Bloody Menoncello and Brix, and least of all, Capuozzo, even though there's a very little bit of him. The Italian rugby team is sexy again. Let's hope they aren't just a pretty face. Now is the tough one, 4th in the power rankings. Sione Tuipulotu is injured. Scotland's captain, their best player and one of the best centres in the world will be missing the entire Six Nations and is in a race against time for the Lions tour. Add in that they are playing their toughest challenges at Twickenham, and I think we might need to temper our expectations for Scotland this year. Also, I still don't really rate the Scottish pack when the game requires truly brutal, bone-breaking forward play past 60 minutes. And that's going to be made worse by the fact that one of their best locks, Cummings, is out injured as well. If they want to go higher up the rankings, they are going to have to show some ruthlessness in Italy, and then they're going to have to push Ireland very hard in Dublin the week later. Until then, 4th is where they stay. England next, and 3rd in the power rankings they go. That's not based on any real evidence, mostly just feelings and aura. So the same way Bill Sweeney got a bonus last year. Thing is, if you look into it, all the parts for a very good team are there. Marcus Smith is an incredible number 10. Ollie Lawrence is one of my favorite centers. Itoje and George Martin are a great lock pairing, and Alex Mitchell is maybe the most underrated 9 in the world. They should be doing very well, except there's that one weakness they just won't fix: the front row. You would have thought that the 2019 World Cup final would have told them we must start breeding props genetically if we can, because this should never happen again. But here we are 5-ish years later, and Sweeney still hasn't been totted into a meat pie so his protein can feed more Bevan rods across England. Third should be par given their kind of limited coaching, but second is right there, and so is fourth. A slightly tortured Six Nations followed by an up and down July tour, and then a very entertaining and well-produced Autumn Nations series means France should be or could be top, but they are still sitting second, and that is mostly because of the draw. They are playing Ireland away, and that is one of the toughest jobs in all of rugby, unless you're New Zealand for some reason. The squad contains these fellows. Or not. Some of them might have gotten injured since I downloaded these JPEGs. It's actually the same for all the sides. And also excuse my ignorance around a lot of these players because the French don't show their rugby in South Africa. Maybe one day. The two names I know very well though are these two chommies. Dupont and Intermac are finally back together in a French jersey after being apart for what feels like forever, and I curse the rugby gods for splitting them up that long. I would miss both my daughter's birthday parties to watch Intermac and Dupont at 9 and 10 with Ramos at 15 and Pinot and Bielbiari at the back. They are that good. They just bring joy to rugby. Also, look out for Malvaka, Miafu and Flamengo for some sweet, highly skilled forward play. Really, these guys, when they get going, it's like the most beautiful rugby you've ever seen. France should be aiming to win the whole thing, even though they are playing away against Ireland and England. And here's hoping they do, because they are my favorites, if you couldn't tell already. Finally, we've got Ireland at the top of the power rankings pre-tournament, which makes sense because they are the reigning two-time champions. This year though, there is no Andy Farrell in the coach's box, as he's currently doing the job at the Lions. A shit job at that. Any coach with a record like his at the Lions should probably never have their contract renewed. But here we are. Anyways, Simon Easterby is his replacement this year, and he will be in charge whenever there is no laptop with Zoom in the room. He's also got all the old heads at his disposal to go for the three-peat, though Ireland still kind of have the same issues at scrum time that England have, except they've just got a little bit more depth. It goes up to the knee instead of just the ankle. Also, Dan Sheehan is back, one of the most exciting players in the world, and hopefully that'll fix the Irish line-out, which will lead to a whole lot of attacking play. Should be nice. With the draw that has them playing France and England at home, they should be winning this tournament fairly easily, relative term, and they might even be able to go for the Grand Slam. Anything else would probably be seen as a failure, and Simon will be booted out. And those were the first ever annual Six Nations power rankings, which I made up and no one else has ever done. Also, I'll probably forget about them next week and talk about the Paris pre-game light show instead. I'm bad at YouTube and I'm really out of practice. Actually, the games, we need to talk about those. France will be hosting Wales in Paris on Friday night, and the pre-game light show is the thing you really want to see. And then France probably smashing the too small Welsh side. And then on Saturday, we've got Scotland hosting Italy, and without Sione Tuipulotu there, we still at least have Hugh Jones, Brex and Menoncello. All centers you should watch because they are brilliant at their game. And then the last game on Saturday, I think it's Saturday, will be Ireland hosting England in Dublin. And even with Andy Farrell on a laptop screen in a Zoom call, the Irish should be too strong for England. Anyways, fun, rugby. And no news. I don't want to look up any news because all of it is just updates to squads because of this player injuring himself, playing golf, and it's all very boring. So we'll end the video there, and I will see you all next week, much better at YouTube, I promise, and we can talk about that pre-game light show in Paris. I'm obsessed. Bye.